Yes, the Ontario Secondary School Diploma. Uh, what we offer, it's the digital format, so it's the curriculum that is presented on the platform, and then additionally to that we offer Zoom live classes with Canadian teachers, and plus the free teacher training that we are organizing prior to the program launch. That's important because it allows you and your teachers to learn more about the Canadian diploma, and so it boosts your knowledge to then more successfully actually sell it to parents and students. The program itself, it can be, the duration of the program from 3 years to 1 year. For Brazilian students, we suggest to run it in 3 years. So the subjects that we offer for the whole diploma are distributed equally. So it normally starts the program from 6, 7 subjects. And then if we count 3 years, then you have 2, 3 subjects per each year, which is really doable, especially if you do it simultaneously with the national curriculum, which in your case is Brazilian curriculum. And so the live classes with Zoom that we are offering, normally it's 2 hours per subject. So 2 hours of live classes per one subject per week. And then the rest of the subjects or the rest of the materials can be taught obviously by your students and can be supervised by your local teachers on the ground. Why we require English speaking staff on the ground? Because they will be the one teaching and supervising and basically directing the program, because the program itself will be run digitally, but obviously you as a school are the one that gathering students together, so having the social element in the program. And your teachers, they don't have to teach the whole program, they just need to be there and supervising and making sure that they go aligned with the course. I mean, if your teachers can basically give the material, because they will have the material, they will have the access to the platform, but if they can explain some of the material on the ground as well, that would be great, because then the students would be able to progress faster in a way. But again, all of the materials, all of the curriculum is provided by our side. All of the teacher trainings is provided by our side as well for free, and it's done prior to the start. The communication between the teachers is in WhatsApp. So the way we create the whole communication process is like a team. It's not like, here's the school, and then somehow you communicate. No, it's all the time the exchange. Like the Canadian teachers can ask, okay, is the process going smooth? Like, did the students have some questions? Let us know. And then your teachers reply straight away, yes, everything went well, they understood everything, no questions, thank you very much, let's go on, right? So that's like the quick feedback from both sides. And then all the assessments and the marking is done by the Canadian school, not by your teachers. It's all done by Canadian partner school. And what else? Well, we also have an offline campus of the school in Canada. So that allows, if, for instance, somehow you want the students to be culturally integrated in the country, then they can also go for a summer, term for 1 month, for 2 months. It's also possible. But what I'm talking today about is just mostly the online program. So the offline part is just as like side note, but it's not a main part of the thing and the main part of the meeting that we have today.
Okay, very good. And so the subjects the students, it's best if they take in 3 years. What are the subjects they must attend?
So the subjects basically are English, math as the start, because it's the basics. But then the rest of the subjects will mostly be dependent on their pathway. So the so-called pathway, maybe you heard, maybe you didn't, but it's pathway that will prepare them for the undergraduate program. So whenever they finish the school, they will basically go to university, and in university they will choose the path that they want to go, the faculty, right? Is it the I want to be a lawyer, or is it business, or is it engineering, is it medicine? And then depending on this path, some of the subjects can be already related and taken in high school. So this is one of the benefits of a Canadian program. I know in Brazil, like you start to have electives, but not all the schools had chance to implement the elective system. So in Canada, it's been already there. So for instance, you have a student interested in business. So obviously, in their program, in his program, there would be such subjects as entrepreneurship, intro into accounting, calculus. So something that would help the student then apply to the university. But the beginning, the start of the program would probably be looking the same for all the students enrolling into Canadian Diploma program. It's going to be English, and it's going to be probably math.
Okay, so the classes that are 2 hours per subject. So if they're taking two classes, there are 6 to 7, you said. So would be 4 hours a week of live classes.
Yes, if they're taking, yes, I mean, doesn't yeah, if they're taking two
Right,
subjects,
two
yes. For,
courses, right?
mm-hmm.
4 hours. Okay. And are they with how many students? Are only from the same school? Or are they mixture with students from different places? The time of the classes, what time does usually happen?
So the time of the classes, it's normally communicated already when you create the timetable with our Canadian school. And normally, from our experience, the lessons happen after your normal school. So let's say you have the school until 2 p.m., then from 3 p.m., they would start the Canadian Diploma program. As for the number of students, so for the program, when we launch, we start the program from 5 students. So if, for instance, from the start, you won't be able to have, like per one class, we normally have 30 students. So that's like a good amount. But if you don't have and you have just like 10 students, then they would probably uh, be joining some other classes that happen. That helps us just to cut down the cost, obviously. But if you have enough students for the class, then all the classes then will be organized just for your school.
Okay, so I mean, there's no minimum, right? Because if I have one student, two,
No,
doesn't matter how
five.
many students.
Minimum
Minimum
five.
five. My
Yeah.
school needs to have at least 5 students
Yes. To
in the
start.
program.
Yeah.
And what if one student quit or something happens like this?
Well, basically, when the program starts, there is no refund because we contract the teachers for the time of the year. So
Mm,
that's why there is no possibility to do a refund. So even if
I
they
got
quit,
it.
they have to understand
They
that.
lose what they have
Yes,
invested.
yes.
Okay, makes sense. Okay, makes sense. Okay, and when is the starting? When they can start?
So the start of the program, well, with Brazil, we suggest to start at the same time as your academic year, which is February. But you're planning to open the school in 2025, so obviously that's still lots of time before that. But the program can be start anytime. The academic year in Canada starts in September. So it is just started 18th of September. And obviously if you go along the year, then by the end of the year you finish, you graduate, and then you start applying to the universities. If it's the program that is spread in 3 years, then you can start in any time, because by the time that we contract you as a school, we create the timetable right for your school, so it doesn't really matter for us when you are starting. But as from the logic part, and for the students in their head, it's we use the academic start, the semester start, as the start of the program. So it's either February or either August in your case.
And can we have new students joining the program after it starts? So if I have a group of 10 students and suddenly someone decides to start, can they get into the program?
So if they start, like, normally no, because then they form a group, and so basically maybe along the 2 weeks when they are studying they can join. But if it's like 1 month, 2 months or more, then it's worth creating a new group.
Okay.
Do you already have partner schools in Brazil?
We have one school, yes, in Santos, and we have one school in Limeira. We're just starting promoting from this March, so we are, getting into the market. But yes, we did sign schools, and they started like the one school in Santos. They already started in May, and
Who
they've been
are
in the
they?
program. Sorry,
Who are?
no,
What the name of the school?
Novo Tempo,
No thing. And the other one, it's in, what did you say?
Limeira.
Limera. Who are they?
It's a Presca Conosco, but it's a language school. It's not like a private school.
Aprende com. Ok. Ok. Ok.
Oh, so you also do that not with regular schools, but with like language courses?
Yes, because I mean, for us, the main concept is to gather students somewhere, offline. So it might be a private school because it's easier for them because they would be the
Yeah.
one, combining the two curriculums. But then language schools can also implement the program because they can work with private schools, and so they will be the one, like the center, to gather the schools from different areas and then launch it like extracurricular, like you prepare for an exam. It's the same concept here. It's an extracurricular program that students are taking additionally to their national curriculum, and then at the end of the program they get their diploma, they get the benefits. One of the great benefits for Canadian diploma is that as soon as you start the program, you are receiving the number in the national system in Canada, and you are considered as a domestic student. So apart from just upgrading your English language, by graduation you can also apply to state colleges and universities and have more access to the seats. So you would be still considered as international because you're not a Canadian citizen, but
Yep.
from as a holder of a Canadian diploma, you will be considered domestic, which means that when applying, you will have a higher likelihood to be accepted. So it's a super great opportunity for those students who really plan to travel and study like in Canada.
Yep.
But I mean, it's also a great choice for those who just stay in Brazil because by the time they graduate, they will have a really good English level. They would be, introduced to multicultural environment. They will have this experience of talking to native speakers. But I see that you have quite a good English, so I'm just wondering whether you are already from an English school or you're.
We both lived
From a
abroad,
lot of
so
different experiences.
yeah,
Okay.
that's why. That's why.
Okay.
Okay, and about the pricing?
So the pricing I will send you by the message, but it's basically an installment payment. And so it's 146 US dollars per subject per month. It's an installment payment for 12 months.
Wait. 146 American dollars? No,
Yes.
Canadian dollars.
American dollars.
American per subject
Yes.
per month.
Yes.
And then the payment should be done straight to
So we work with Brazil, we work with a payment provider called Next Pay. I don't know if you heard, but basically they are the one that will be collecting the payment. So for instance, if we sign the agreement, we have to decide whether you will be the one collecting the money from parents or the parents will pay to us straight away. Either way, it doesn't matter. Either way, you will be offered an installment plan, and then you will decide in how many installments you want to pay. Because installment mentality is very specific, especially for Brazil. That's why we decided to work with a provider because we had experience working without the provider, and it wasn't the
didn't
best.
work.
It wasn't the best choice. Yes.
Nowadays, how many students you have here in Brazil?
We don't have a lot. We just because we just started. We have 5 students. But then the language school in Limeira, they're gonna be launching in February. So we just started the
Okay.
promotion with them.
And
Okay.
if we decide that we want to push that forward, do you guys have any policy for exclusivity to not having competitors around? How does that work?
So at the moment, we don't really have the exclusivity terms until you actually start the program. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
obviously, when we sign the partners, well, I'm signing the partner, so I'm trying to look around in the area. So if it's like a small city like Santos, then obviously we will be counting how many schools will be there.
Yeah.
But then if it's a big city as Sao Paulo, then there's lots of other schools like as competition. So obviously, there is no way we can provide the exclusivity under
Mm-hmm.
under
Yeah.
the terms.
We've been researching a little bit about different providers that we could be working with. And some American providers of diplomas or curriculum, they guarantee university for the students who got their diploma. How would that? Do you guys have any partnership, anything like that with any university?
In comparing both systems in Canada, there is no guarantee. If you
Okay.
go and research, no university in Canada can guarantee the acceptance. In the US, there are the universities that can do that under the circumstances. In Canada, there is no. I mean, we are working on conditional letters of acceptance, is when, for instance, if some of the conditions are being met, then you can have a higher likelihood to be accepted. Like if you have
Mm,
this kind of
okay.
marks, if you pass this and this, then you have
Yeah.
higher, but there is no guarantee. Yeah.
Okay. And you said that your material, I mean, everything that goes on, it's within a platform. Which platform you guys use?
Mm.
I have to check which platform because I have to see what the educator does. But I
Yeah,
can send it to you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just so we know the material, how it's
yeah, how
presented.
it works.
Yeah.
And
But for just saying, for the platform, you don't have to worry because again, your teachers will be trained on how to use it.
All right.
So all the like technical support will be done and provided anyway.
I have a question. If students, so they have a course and they have the entire year to complete the course, is that the way it happens? How long does it take a course?
Again, this is the option that you can decide when doing the timetable. One option is that you complete it by one semester, so 4 months that you have, or you spread it along the year. So, for instance, as an example, we have two subjects per year. You can decide to do one subject in one semester and one subject next semester. So then you will have,
Okay, I see.
or you can decide to do two subjects simultaneously, then your whole subject will be spread in 1 year.
And if students don't pass, is there any possibility of not passing?
Well, the Canadian system is built that way that is not exam based, it's project based. So, obviously, all the projects that the students are doing, they're doing together. And, well, in our interest as well, that the students, pass successfully. Then it's obviously because it's a project based, they always have a chance to redo.
Yeah, to
So,
redo it. But they have a, do they have a length? Do they have I mean, they have deliverables. If they don't, because some of the schools we are searching, they have a time frame. If they don't complete within the time frame, they need to pay for an extension or something. Does it happens in the Canadian?
we didn't really get this kind of questions, but in terms of the time frame, again, if the course is being time framed for a year and you paid for it for the subject, then you don't pay extra. But
You have
then,
a year.
but
Yeah.
if it's like if there is a reason that it's being extended, then of course, then you keep paying like the price that I've been
Okay, a
mentioning.
fee or something.
And yeah, there is maybe another question because I didn't mention that about the English language level. Because
Mm-hmm.
obviously, to be well, we enroll the students and we evaluate their profiles by sending a placement test. Placement
Mhm.
test is for free for the partner schools and it evaluates the English level. To be successful and comfortable to start the program, you have to have B2. But we did have students that had the lower English level and they started with some ESL courses. So we can provide that as well. I don't know
All
what
right.
will be the concept of your school, if it's going to be bilingual or if it's going to be English related, then you can
Yeah.
prepare your students yourself.
Mhm.
Or if you want to use the help of us, then obviously we can provide some ESL classes prior to the program start.
Okay, so it's prior to the program. So the ESL courses does not count as the six courses that you're offering, or
It
does it?
can be counted, but it all depends again what their English. If it's like A2, then they would have to take some ESL that would not be counted as
And they get
credits.
it to be.
But if it's like B1 plus, then they can start taking some ESL that would be counted as credits. In Canada, in US, they don't have it, by the way, but in Canada, apart from the pathways, they also have different programs. Let's
Mm.
say if the students don't want to go to university, they don't have to take the courses that the university students will take. So
Okay.
it's super detailed, but I don't think maybe at this stage you have to go in this detailization. But again, depending on what is their path and what is their goal, by grade 11 and grade 12, we make sure that they're taking the courses relevant to their next step after the school.
Okay. Okay, see.
Because like in the US, they just have credits, so-called credits. You can take subjects apart from advanced placement subjects. All the other classes are credits. So whatever you're taking, it will be counted towards the diploma. In Canada, it's a little bit more precise because you have to have prerequisites, which is so-called you can't take grade 12 math if you didn't study grade 12, 11 math. So it's a system, a hierarchy that
Progressive.
you have,
Mm-hmm.
yes, to follow. And the same thing goes with university credits, with university subjects. There are some courses that are usual, let's call them usual, and then there are some courses that are university level courses. So if you're taking them, then you would be eligible to then apply to the universities in Canada.
Wonderful, Natalia. I think we have an overview, very interesting. You sent us the material as well. I don't know if Evelyn has any other question that you'd like to
No, I think it
try.
was very well
Yeah.
explained. So,
Okay. Okay, Natalia, I have your contact here, and if you have further questions, anything, we reach out to you. Thank
I
you. So
can.
if you can send me the link, because then we have it recorded, and if you have
Yes,
questions,
yes, and I will send you another presentation. It will give you just more details about the whole partner school system, like how
okay.
many intakes, what is the Canadian, a little bit more in-depth
detailed.
information. So you can maybe after this presentation, book the follow-up meeting and then we can discuss. But you still have time till 2025. So
Yeah, yeah,
yes,
we're in a searching phase right
Yeah.
now.
yes, yes, good. All
Sure.
right,
Okay.
well, no problem. I'll send you the link then.
Okay.